Hello, my name is Tony Burning and I'm the product manager at OpsWatt for the Metascan and Metadefender products. Today I'll be talking to you about how you can configure our Metadefender product to protect secure environments, including nuclear power plants, other critical infrastructure, industrial control systems, and SCADA environments from threats being introduced through portable media. Many of our customers are using Metadefender to meet specific regulatory requirements for their industry. For example, nuclear power plant operators use Metadefender to meet many regulations defined by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Many of our customers use Metadefender to protect their secure networks from threats on physical media. Typically, anyone bringing portable media into a secure environment is required to scan that media with a Metadefender kiosk before it can be used on the network. Depending on your needs, Metadefender kiosks can either be deployed on a network or as standalone kiosks with no network connectivity. Metadefender can be used in conjunction with any Metascan package, including anywhere from 4 to 30 antivirus engines. Metadefender provides a lot of functionality, but there are several high-level needs that the product helps address. The primary value is to control access to a secure network while providing a way to bring files into that network. In addition, Metadefender allows you to keep a record of everything that has been brought into the network if that information is ever needed for auditing or forensic purposes. Today we will talk about how Metadefender can be configured to help you meet these goals. This is the management console of a newly installed instance of Metadefender 3.0.7. If you're using a different version of Metadefender, some configuration options may be slightly different, but the main functionality will be the same. The management console can be accessed from any web browser that has access to the Metadefender system or on the Metadefender system itself. Today, I will focus on the configuration options that are most applicable for kiosks deployed in secure environments. When the management console is opened, you will initially be taken to the Metadefender dashboard, where you can see an overview of the activity on your Metadefender kiosk. This allows you to see at a glance how many files have been scanned by the Metadefender system and whether there are any potential issues that require further investigation. On the configuration page, you can change the settings that will apply to all users of the kiosk. For secure environments, the most important areas to configure on this page are those concerning logging and system hardening. For logging, many secure environments, such as nuclear power plants, require that a log is kept of every scan session for auditing purposes. Session logs will be scanned to the Metadefender installation directory unless a different location is specified. If you would like to also save a copy of the scan log to the media being scanned, which can later help verify that the media has been scanned by Metadefender, select this checkbox. You can also choose to include detailed scan results in the log by selecting the option to enable verbose logging. For kiosks that are operating in an environment to protect critical infrastructure, the following option to harden the Metadefender system should be enabled. Choose to enable the exit password and enter the password that will be required to exit the Metadefender kiosk user interface. This will ensure that unauthorized users will not have access to the underlying operating system. After making any of these changes, make sure that you remember to apply these changes by clicking the Apply button. On the Workflows page, you can define the workflow profiles for all users of the Metadefender kiosk. To ensure that only authorized users are using the kiosk, user authentication can be enabled. This ensures that only users with a valid Windows account, either a local account or a domain account, are able to use the Metadefender kiosk. Enabling guest login will allow users without Windows user logins to use the kiosk, but will make sure that their sessions are processed by the guest workflow profile. If user authentication is not enabled, all users will use the default profile. In this case, let's go through the steps of creating a workflow profile for temporary contractors who are bringing in portable media. For this, I will enable the option to require user authentication. As on the previous screen, make sure that you click on the Apply button to save your changes. On the first page, you can assign the Windows users that you want to be covered by this profile. In our case, I would select all of the Windows accounts that will be used by temporary contractors. On the next page, you can define questions that every user of that profile will be asked before their media is scanned. You can also choose whether each question requires an answer. This information will be logged with the session, so this is a good place to ask for any information you need to be attached to the user's scan session. On the next screen, you can choose whether to allow or disallow certain media types. In this version of Metadefender, you are limited to enabling or disabling scanning of CDs and DVDs, but in future versions, we plan to also allow other media types to be enabled or disabled. On the next screen, you can choose whether to enable or disable file type analysis and file filtering. File type analysis can help identify files that have had their extensions changed and could potentially be dangerous. Since we are configuring this for temporary contractors, we would probably want to leave this on for extra security. File type filtering allows you to block specific types of files that might be dangerous. In our case, we may want to block executables from being brought in for extra security. Click on this radio button to enable the filtration by file type. As mentioned, for this group of users, we would block all executables. The next screen defines a policy for scanning with Metascan. For protecting secure environments, this option should always be enabled. The next two screens deal with setting policies for how to treat blocked and allowed files. In both cases, you can choose to convert files to a safer file type, remove the files from the media, copy the files to another location, or run a custom command script. For blocked files, the safest option is to choose to remove the files from the media by either deleting the files or by quarantining the files. The only problem that this might cause is that false positives are also removed and may be harder to recover. An alternative is to copy files to another location and then delete the original files after the copy. The copy destination can either be a location path or a network path if the kiosk is on a network. This would allow for analysis of any potential threats without making them too difficult to restore. For allowed files, you can also choose to copy files to another location, although for a different purpose. For Metadefender kiosks that are connected to a network, Metadefender can be used to copy all clean files to a network location, eliminating the need for the original media to be brought into a secure area. This prevents any threats from unknown devices that might have hidden partitions or other ways of bringing in malware. All files are copied using the credentials provided by the user during authentication. For standalone kiosks that do not have a network connection, Metadefender can be configured to allow copying of clean files to user-provided media. This allows only files that have been scanned and found to be clean to be copied to media that is known to be clean and trusted and has been approved for higher security areas. In the nuclear industry, this can help meet the NRC's requirement that only pre-approved devices are allowed into secure areas, while allowing clean data from the outside, such as patches or updates, that is required for work to be completed. The final page in configuring the workflow profile is defining the printing policy. On this page, you can choose whether to allow the user to print a receipt of their session or to optionally print one automatically. In addition to the digital record of the scan, this ensures that there is also a physical record of the scan session. If the kiosk is connected to a network, this option also allows receipts to be automatically printed to a network printer, potentially in a security officer's office for record keeping. Once you have finished, click the Finish button to save your profile. Another configuration option that should be set if you're deploying Metadefender systems on a network is to disable the automatic login and set a password. This will prevent unauthorized access to the management console over the network. After you have finished configuring Metadefender, we recommend backing up the configuration. This will save all Metadefender settings so that they can either be applied to another system or be restored at a later point. To download a copy of your Metadefender's configuration, click on the Download Backup button. And this will start a download of your configuration. To restore this configuration, either to the same system or to another Metadefender system, simply select the file and choose to upload and restore. This concludes our demonstration of how to configure Metadefender for secure environments. If you have any additional questions, please contact us through the OPSWAT portal at my.opswat.com. Thank you.